Come on, Chiefs! We've got the latest Chiefs updates just for you, and I'll be giving you all the details as they happen. So if you want to stay in the loop, make sure you're subscribed to the channel because you don't want to miss out on what's coming. And hit that like button. Okay, here's the good news. Patrick Mahomes is ready to go. Yep, after a little scare last week regarding his ankle, our superstar QB is ready to take the field on Monday night. Mahomes practiced fully this week, so Chiefs Kingdom can breathe a sigh of relief knowing the MVP is ready to go. And with their undefeated record on the line, we need him to be at full strength. But here's the catch, he might have to work some magic without some of his usual weapons. Now for the not-so-good news for our offense, Juju Smith-Schuster is officially out. He's been battling a hamstring injury and was unable to practice this week. With Juju out, Mahomes will have to lean even more on DeAndre Hopkins, Travis Kelce, and the rest of the team. But with Tampa Bay's secondary looking a bit worn down, maybe there's a chance for someone to step up. What do you think? Is it time for Hopkins to really step up? On defense, there are a few more hiccups. We're without a couple of key pieces in linebacker Mike Dana and cornerback Nazeeh Johnson, who won't play on Monday. Additionally, backups B.J. Thompson and Charles Omenihu on the defensive line are also out, so that depth will be tested. But if there's one thing we've learned from the Chiefs' defense, it's that even when they're down a few guys, they find a way to hold the line together. Big credit to Steve Spagnuolo for always pulling the group together. It's going to be all hands on deck. And if you think we have challenges, Tampa Bay is feeling the heat, too. Bucs star wide receiver Mike Evans is out with his own hamstring issue, and Jalen McMillan and Sterling Shepard are questionable. That means Baker Mayfield will also be without some key targets, which could play into the Chiefs' hands if the D can step up and keep the pressure on him. So here we are, just days away from one of the biggest games of the season so far. The undefeated Chiefs at home in Arrowhead against a Bucs team hungry to stay in the NFC South. Both sides will have to adapt and overcome some key losses, and it all comes down to who adjusts best when the first whistle blows. All right, Chiefs fans, it's your turn. Who do you think needs to step up the most with Juju out? And do you think our defense can shut down Tampa's backup receivers? Let me know in the comments. Now, let's talk about the latest blow to the Chiefs roster. As we prepare for our Monday Night Football matchup against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Patrick Mahomes will be without another offensive lineman for the rest of the season. Head coach Andy Reid confirmed after practice on Friday that rookie tight end Jared Wiley tore his ACL during a non-contact drill. That means Wiley won't be back on the field for the Chiefs this year, adding yet another setback to this offense. Wiley, who was a promising addition as a fourth-round pick in this year's draft, had just started to get into the swing of things with the team. His absence puts even more pressure on an already thin receiving and blocking core for Mahomes, who has been adapting week after week to a rotating roster of offensive players. And if that weren't enough, let's not forget that Jody Fortson, another tight end, was also lost to injury earlier this season. Mahomes spoke about the challenges of losing teammates like Wiley and Fortson, who bring so much commitment and toughness to the team. Speaking about Fortson, Mahomes shared, "It's extremely tough just because you know how hard he's worked to come back from injuries in the past. Such a good guy. He'll do anything to be on that football field. He's one of those guys where you're like, go block the middle linebacker, he'll block the middle linebacker. He'll do anything to help his team win." It's easy to see how much Mahomes values the dedication and drive of his teammates, and the loss of these players is a blow to both team morale and his strategy on the field. Every week, the Chiefs have had to rethink their approach, but they continue to find ways to win, keeping their 7-0 streak alive. So what does this mean when we face Tampa Bay? Well, as we all know, the Bucs have their own injury struggles, but their defense will likely focus on limiting Travis Kelce even more. This will open up opportunities for other players to make a name for themselves, and it will be interesting to see how Mahomes and Coach Reid adjust. Recently added DeAndre Hopkins could be primed for a breakout game with more targets coming his way. And let's not overlook the opportunity for other young players on the Chiefs roster who could get a chance to prove themselves on the national stage. With Monday Night Football coming up, this will be a true test of the Chiefs' depth and adaptability. Both teams are dealing with injuries, so this matchup could come down to who can adjust better and handle the pressure. All right, Chiefs fans, I want to hear from you. How do you feel about all these injuries, and who do you think will step up for Mahomes and fill the void? Now, with the NFL trade deadline on November 5th just days away, reports suggest Veach may be eyeing two more key positions to solidify the roster, wide receiver and cornerback. According to Diana Rossini of The Athletic, the Chiefs are open to adding depth here, but Veach isn't acting out of desperation. After all, the team recently acquired DeAndre Hopkins from the Titans, so any additional moves will be strategic. Starting with wide receiver, Rossini mentioned that the Chiefs could consider another weapon if the right fit comes along. With Hopkins already on board and Juju Smith-Schuster expected to return soon from his hamstring injury, Mahomes will soon have a deeper pool of targets. However, if a deal for a solid WR comes along, you can bet Veach will consider it. After all, the offense thrives when Mahomes has a reliable mix of targets to keep defenses on their toes. Then, there's the situation at cornerback. Defensive coordinator Steve Spagnuolo wants someone who is young and quick, essential traits for his aggressive defensive schemes. It's a tall order, though. Quality corners with those attributes aren't often on the market, so whoever the Chiefs bring in could come with some risk. But it's a position they're watching closely, especially after the recent season-ending injury to cornerback Jalen Watson. Watson's injury has created a void that backups like Joshua Williams and Nazeed Johnson will need to fill, while Trent McDuffie continues to anchor the CB lineup. As for trade activity so far, Veach has already made two notable deals this season, which is unusual in the middle of the season for the Chiefs. First, we got Hopkins, which provides a big boost to the WR core. Then, there was the addition of edge rusher Joshua Uche from the Patriots, helping to bolster the line while guys like Mike Dana and Charles Omenihu recover from their own injuries. Both trades send a clear signal. This team is aiming for a deep postseason run, and Veach wants the pieces in place for a serious Super Bowl run. Looking at the cornerback market, there aren't many names out there that fit Spagnuolo's ideal profile of young, fast, and adaptable. But Veach could take a chance if someone promising becomes available. So far, names like Marcus Peters have come up in trade speculation, but his veteran status may not align with what the Chiefs are specifically looking for in terms of youth and speed. Whether a deal happens could depend on the results of this weekend's games, as some teams may consider moving valuable assets if their playoff hopes start to fade. This is definitely a week where Chiefs fans should keep an eye on both the on-field results and the off-field moves. With an undefeated record and a roster full of talent, each strategic addition could be the difference maker in a competitive postseason. What do you think, Chiefs fans? Should Veach give it another try before the trade deadline? Let us know what you think in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe so you don't miss any Chiefs news as we approach a crucial part of the season.